Hi, my name is Tiffany Lancaster. Welcome to today's yoga class. Today we're going to be focusing on balancing the root chakra and building our foundation. We're going to be doing a lot of work through the feet and the legs today. The root chakra is the element of earth. So I wanted to invite you today. I am burning an incense, a cinnamon incense. Um, and I also am using frankincense if you want to bring in an essential oil just to help kind of bring in that earth element. I would recommend really any earthy type um, essential oil will do. I decided to go with frankincense today. So if you'd like to just put a little bit on your hands and kind of take a couple breaths to breathe that in, just to help drop you into that essence. We are also going to be using a yoga block today, so we'll just need one for this class. And we're going to start on our backs actually for this class. So let's come down to our backs. We're going to leave our knees bent here to start. Just kind of open up your arms, palms facing up. You can drop your knees in. We're just going to take a second to drop in here. Just really relax. Start by noticing your breath, just allowing your whole body to just surrender into this moment. Release anything from the day that you might be holding on to. Just take a second to drop in. Okay, now let's bring the right foot up in the air. Flex that right foot. Bring the left leg down to the ground, down to the earth. I want to take a minute to just focus in on our bones, all the little bones in our foot and our ankles. And you're going to start to draw little circles with your big toe on your right foot. Just see how smooth. Try to draw perfect little circles. Notice all the little places where you might get stuck, it might feel sticky, and just smoothly continue to move through those sticky parts. Just working anything out in the ankles. We have so many bones in our feet and our ankle. It's 26 bones in our feet. So we're just giving our ankles some love, bringing our attention to all those little bones and all the little ligaments in our feet and ankles. Like you're just drawing a perfect circle on the ceiling with your big toe. You can start to go the other way now, circling in the opposite direction. Again, just a smooth circle. Just like you're painting a circle on the ceiling, noticing all the sticky points. Release the right leg. We'll switch sides here. Interlacing your fingers behind your left hamstring, dropping the right foot to the ground. Let's start by just flexing that foot. And then as you feel ready, begin the circles, painting the circles on the ceiling, noticing all the little clicks, sticky points, just slowly work through them. Giving conscious awareness to our feet. Begin to evoke gratitude for all the things that our feet do for us, all the weight that our feet and ankles hold throughout the day. Our feet We tend to take them for granted, on them all day. They hold so much for us. And as you feel called to do so, switch directions, circling, painting that circle with your big toe in the opposite direction. Not looking for big circles here, just little circles. As you feel called, you can release that left foot onto the ground, bring both feet up to the earth, and we're going to grab the back of our hamstrings and roll up, coming into tabletop. And for this tabletop, we're going to leave our toes tucked. We're going to go into some cat-cow here with our toes tucked. Inhale, bringing the collarbones forward, lifting the tailbone towards the sky. And then exhale, turning the tailbone down towards the earth, pushing our shoulder blades up towards the heavens, gazing at the belly button. Inhale, turn the tailbone up, open up the collarbones, look up towards the sky. Exhale, curling in, gazing at the belly button. One more inhale, opening up the collarbone, turning the tailbone up towards the sky. And then we're going to bring our hip bones back towards our ankles, leaving our toes tucked, coming into an active child's pose here. So if you want to, you can even come up on your fingertips, bringing your forehead to the earth, feeling how active you're feeling, the stretch in your feet here, spreading your toes across the earth. Just feel that stretch in your feet, opening up all those channels, energy channels throughout your feet. And then slowly bringing yourself up to make this stretch even deeper, sitting on your heels, feeling those energy channels open up even more in your feet. Feel the energy being sucked in. Just take a second to breathe here. You want to interlace your fingers and bring them up towards the sky, just opening up the rib cage. Getting a really good stretch here. If you want to lean to the right and then the left, whatever feels good for you. Bringing the hands back down to the earth, we're going to come up into downward dog. We're really going to focus on our feet here. So let's make sure that your pads of your feet are really pressed into the earth here. Spread your toes as much as you can. And focus on we're not locking the knees, so make sure to not lock your knees, but bring the outside edges of your heels down towards the earth, keeping your heels in line with your legs, making sure that they're not off to one side, that they're directly in line with your legs, and just pull your heels down towards the earth. Not looking for a huge stretch here, but really just focusing on getting that stretch in our feet, building that foundation through our feet, driving all of the toe pads into the earth.
Now, very slowly and methodically, you're going to begin to walk towards the top of the mat, bringing left leg forward, slowly pushing each one of the toe pads and then the heel of your foot down into the earth very slowly. Then doing the other foot, slowly bring the toe pads, heel down to the earth. Just really feeling in how you're building your foundation. Do heel first or toe first. Finding yourself in a forward fold. And we're going to take a second here to really just touch the toes, spread all the bones. You can spread each one of your toes with your fingers if that helps, because sometimes we're just using our imagination to really spread the toes, which works. That does work on the subtle body. Wherever our imagination goes, prana and energy follows. So don't discount the power of your imagination. But for this first one, we're going to physically spread out each one of the toes, press down on your big toe pad, just really making sure that that's grounded, and as well as all the other toe pads. And we're going to be focusing on this outside point of the heel. So building our foundation throughout this practice, we're going to focus on this outside heel as well as this big toe pad. So make sure that you're just really grounded and feel how that focusing on those 2 points creates this suction cup in the arch of your foot that really just sucks up the energy from the earth, driving roots deep into the earth, sucking up all that nutrients and energy through your legs, and feel and visualize that energy just coming up through your legs. Just take a second to enjoy this forward fold and all the energy coming up through your legs. Slowly, slow as possible, just start to roll your spine up, keeping a slight bend in the knees. Now slowly come up to Tadasana. And just keep your eyes closed here, palms facing forward. Release your shoulders away from the ears. And just feel how this foundation feels. Feel the suction in the arch of your foot, drawing all of that fresh prana up from the earth. Feel how sturdy your foundation feels here. Okay, now we're going to step the left foot back, coming into Warrior Two. And I want you to really take a second to, again, build the foundation here in Warrior Two. You're going to focus on that outside heel and the big toe mound on the back foot as well as the front foot, making sure that the knee is over the ankle, the hips are at a 45-degree angle. And since we're really just focusing on the feet and legs today, you can bring your hands up if you'd like, but we can also just have our hands on our hips as well. And we're just going to focus on our foundation, feeling how strong our foundation feels when we just take the time and discipline to just make sure that we've got all the pieces in the right place. Just building that strong foundation. And then this is where you'll want to take your block and place it on the inside of your right foot. We're going to be coming into extended side angle here. So you can bring your hand down to the block, or if it feels better, you could also rest your arm, your forearm on your thigh here. I'm going to go ahead and come down to the block. And we're really going to just focus on Strong legs, pulling that energy up from the earth. Feel it along the side body here, from the edge of that left foot, that outside of edge of the left foot, remembering to drive that outside ankle into the earth, keeping that suction from your arch of your foot, feeling that energy, those energy channels opening up throughout the side body, all the way through the tips of your fingers, just allowing that energy to flow, making sure that you're opening up the chest. And then push back up through the front foot. We're going to bring that back leg in just a little bit, straightening the front leg, but we don't want to lock the knee. Be careful not to lock the knee. So you're going to have a slight bend in that front knee, and you're going to reach your torso over your front leg, bringing the left hand down to the block. You can have either your right hand to the block, left hand straight up in the air, or again, you can bring it to your hips, whatever feels best for you. And then again, bringing our attention back to our feet, making sure that the big toe mounds are grounded into the earth, checking that that outside edge of the heel driving into the earth. Again, creating that suction through the arches of our feet, pulling in that fresh prana. Twisting the chest open. Now we're going to come up and come over to side angle here. So put a reverse triangle, excuse me. So bringing the left hand to the block, opening up the chest to the other side, bringing the attention back down to the feet. Notice how that switch in weight, that just shifted our weight. And so it throws off our foundation just a little bit. But if you can bring the focus of the big toe mounds, focus on that outside edge of the heel, you begin to create that strong foundation again, just coming back to the fundamentals. Release that, coming back up. We're actually going to grab the block. You might want to turn it to the tallest setting here. We're going to actually place it just about a foot in front of your right foot. And we're coming into warrior 3 here. So slight bend in the knee. We're going to really focus on creating that foundation in that right foot. So focus on resetting that big toe mound, outside edge of the heel, creating that suction. And as you feel ready, you're going to push off the back foot, bringing it up into the air parallel to the ground, flexing the foot. Again, feel the prana from the foot, the foundation. Feel that prana coming up through the planet, through the earth, fueling your body. Slowly start to bend that front leg, front knee, bringing the back leg back to the earth. Coming all the way up. So we're going to turn that front leg. Coming over to the other side, warrior 2 on the left side. So again, finding the foundation here, realigning, bringing your knee right above the ankle on the left foot. Paying special attention, you might want to bring the block next to your foot here.
So warrior one, you can either have your arms out or your hands on your hips here, focusing on driving that big toe pad and outer heel, creating that suction in the arch of your foot, sucking up that energy. Same thing on the back foot. Hips at a 45-degree angle, hip points turned out and up, tailbone tucked. Moving into extended side angle. Again, you can either have your elbow on your knee, or you can bring your hand all the way down to the block or even the mat, whatever feels best for you. I'm going to use the block. I'm going to just deepen into this pose, focusing on that outside edge of the back foot, feeling the suction cup once again in that back foot, just pulling the fresh prana, moving through the pathways that we've opened up in our side body. Sometimes it's better to close your eyes to really visualize that energy moving, feeling the foundation here, how buoyant you can feel through the upper body. Continue to open up that chest, open it up towards the sky. And push up. Coming back up, we're going to straighten that front leg again, not locking the knee. Bring the back leg in slightly. Hands on the hips. You're going to begin to fold over that front leg, coming into triangle. You can bring your arm straight up towards the sky, gazing up towards the thumb. Or if it feels better for you, you can bring your hand to your hip. Just make sure that you're opening up the chest. If it feels better, you can look down. Just make sure you're opening the chest up towards the sky. We're going to reverse this triangle by bringing the opposite hand, the other hand, to the block. Bringing the left hand up towards the sky. Again, making sure that we're not locking the knee, but rather pulling that muscle, all the knee muscles up the thigh. Release. You're going to take the block with the left hand, place it just about a foot or so in front of the left foot. And as you feel ready, you're going to push off that back foot. Again, checking your foundation under the left foot, pushing the big toe pad down outside of the heel. Right foot parallel to the floor, flexing the foot that's in the air. Focus on pulling the muscle up your leg, like sucking the muscle up the bone, the femur bone. Just feel that energy. Feel the life force that's filling your body through your foundation. Slowly begin to release that, bringing that back foot down towards the earth. Coming up. We're going to make our way back to the top of the mat here. Okay, we're just going to bring our feet hip width distance apart. We're going to focus on what we've been working on so far throughout this class, really just imagining that your big toe pad is rounded, that your outer heel is grounded, knees are not locked. But imagine the muscle on all four corners of your knees are engaged. Your legs are very engaged. Palms out, eyes closed. Just start to feel what it feels like to have a steady foundation. Feel the freedom that allows your torso when you can really depend on the foundation that you've built through your legs and your roots and all the nutrients that gives you, that flows through you just through a couple disciplines of ensuring that those pathways are clear so that energy can flow freely through your body. Inhale, bring your arms up above your head. Meet your palms together above your head. Bringing your palms down through the center of your body, hinging at the hips, coming down into a forward fold. Take a second here in this forward fold to release your head and your neck, your spine. Make sure that your knees are not locked here, but that you still have that foundation, the foundational pieces that we've already set in place for this practice. Inhale, come halfway up. Release, come down into plank. We're going to release the knees down to the earth, chest and chin. This is a really advanced pose here. Slither through, coming up into a cobra pose, opening up the collarbones. Tuck the toes, come up into downward dog. We're going to set up our foundation again here in downward dog, spreading the toes as much as you can, pushing the big toe mound into the earth, really driving those root systems into the earth, pulling the outside edges of the heels down towards the earth with the knees bent. And again, methodically, consciously connecting our roots into the earth, making our way up to the top of the mat, walking up towards the top of the mat. Slowly building our foundation, spreading those toes, building the foundation, and then slowly rolling up. Going back into the Tadasana. We're going to go through this one more time, just a little faster pace this time. Inhale, bring your hands up above your head. Release, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, coming down into a plank pose. Take a second to inhale here. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward dog. Seeing if we can just bring our heels down a little bit farther now that we've warmed up a little bit. Also, taking the time here, we're going to just give a little attention to our hands. Since in this pose, our hands are part of our foundation, making sure that you're putting pressure in the first
your first finger and thumb, really pushing down that finger mound just under the first knuckle. And then slowly and consciously walk your feet up, coming to the top of the mat, forward fold. And vertebrae by vertebrae, roll your spine up, finding your way back into Tadasana. Just take a second here in Tadasana. Notice the difference. Notice the energy that you've built throughout the practice. Notice the energy that's flowing through your root system, through your legs and your feet. Notice how awake everything feels. Notice how taking the time to truly build a good foundation, how empowering that feels, how much confidence that builds. Okay. Now we're going to take the left foot and step it back, coming into a crescent lunge here, high crescent lunge. Again, if you want to put your hands up into cactus, you can totally do that. But since we're focusing on the legs and feet here, I'm going to go ahead and keep my hands just on my hips. Make sure that the knee is in line with the ankle here. And we want to bring our attention again to the foundation, to our feet, spreading the toes as much as possible on that front foot, pressing down on the big toe mound, outside of the heel, creating that suction once again, feeling the energy being sucked up from the earth. Make sure that your heel is right in line with the rest of your leg on that back foot. We're actually going to build even more heat. We're going to build even more energy here in this pose by just dropping the knee down, not quite all the way to the mat, but just above the mat. One more time, and then a third time, dropping that back knee down. And then slowly and methodically, going to push off that back foot, coming to the top of the mat. If you need to shake out your legs a little bit, feel free to do so. We're going to switch sides now. Bringing the right foot back, coming into high crescent lunge. Again, however you want to hold your hands, you can do cactus, you can do straight up. I'm going to keep mine on the hips. Let's come back to building that strong foundation one more time. Big toe mound, really grounded. Spread those toes, spread all of the bones in the left foot, driving that outside edge of your heel down into the earth, feeling those roots going deep. Spread the toes on the back foot. Really feel that stretch, that opening. Our feet are almost like solar panels. The more open they are, the more energy they are allowed to take in and bank into your body. Now lower that back knee. 1, 2, 3. Coming back up. And push off that back foot. Coming to the top of the mat. Okay. You can stay at the top of your mat. I'm going to come to the middle of my mat just so that you can see me better. We're going to build the foundation here in Tadasana that we've been working on. So take a second to feel into the feet, feel into the toes. Really, again, work on spreading those toes, spreading the bones in your feet as much as possible.
Just like we did with our hands when we were in forward fold, moving each one of our toes. This time we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it with just our mind, driving those heels into the earth, driving those roots deep, feeling that suction cup through the arch of our foot. We're going to bring our hands up, coming into chair, lowering your hips back, hands interlaced, lifting through the torso, keeping that spine straight, feeling those legs turn on, continuing to pull your hips back, pull the muscles back, keeping your legs activated and aligned. Breathe here, feeling that prana. Inhale, come up. Shake that out if you need to. Okay, now we're going to move into tree pose here. We're going to start on the left foot, actually, because I'm left-handed. You can start on your right if you'd like. But we're going to start by really building the foundation in that left foot. Start to bring the right foot off the ground if you'd like. You can kind of use it as a kickstand to start. Just really focusing on those roots going deep into the earth, creating a steady foundation. Begin to bring that right foot up to the midline of your body. On the thigh, find that drishti point, your focus point. You can bring your hands into heart center, or you can interlace the fingers and again, bring the hands high up towards the sky, reaching towards the heavens. Again, feeling the buoyancy that those deep roots allow. There may be some wobbling, and that's okay. But feel the sturdiness that comes from that strong foundation and those deep roots. Take a couple breaths here. And release. As you feel ready, exhale, bringing the foot down. And shake that leg out. I'm going to go move to the other side. Again, building the foundation, spreading the toes wide, spreading each one of those bones in your feet wide, visualizing those roots going deep. Start with the kickstand. Slowly moving the foot up into the midline, focusing on that drishti point. Again, hands to heart center or interlace, bringing your hands high, spreading the ribs, feeling the buoyancy and the freedom that discipline and foundation can actually provide. It doesn't always have to be so rigid. We actually find that when we create a few core disciplines, that's where freedom is really created. Breathe. Exhale, release. Now we're going to bring the feet wider and hip distance apart. You can turn the toes out slightly. We're going to come into Malasana here. So bringing your elbows just inside your knees, allowing your butt bones to just
fall towards the earth. Again, focusing on the foundation of our feet, driving those roots deep, noticing the flow of energy in this position. Sometimes it helps to just close your eyes, really tune into your body and where the energy is flowing. I like to scan my body and figure out all the places where maybe I'm holding on that I don't necessarily need to, only engaging the muscles that need to be engaged. You find that sometimes we're holding on in places where we don't necessarily need to, and we're exerting more energy than what's actually needed. You can release, just coming down onto your mat. From here, we're going to open up, bringing our legs open, flexing our feet. And here, it's not about coming into the deepest stretch. We are going to keep our legs active even in this position. So keeping our feet flexed, keeping our legs turned on. We're also going to keep our torso straight. And you're just going to begin to walk your hands out in front of you, just enough to where you're not compromising the length in your torso, keeping your chest open out in front of you, your heart open. Just feel this stretch. Feel the roots coming from your legs, being in contact with the earth. Again, becoming your stability, your foundation. You feel like you can come a little deeper, keeping that torso long and the spine straight. Feel free to do so. And then slowly start to walk your torso back up. Place your hand under your knees. Bring your legs back together. Coming into butterfly pose now. Our feet have been doing a lot of work for us throughout this practice, so just take a second to give them a little bit of love. Give yourself a foot massage here. Give your toes some love. Now we're going to connect each one of our toes. Connect all of our toe mounds and our heels. Sit up tall. We're going to do the same thing with a long torso. Keeping the torso and spine straight, you're going to slowly begin to fold forward just enough to where your spine and the length in your torso is not compromised. As you feel your body open up, if you can go a little deeper, go for it. Again, we're not looking for the deepest stretch here. Slowly begin to walk your way up. Okay. Here, we're going to do a little Kriya. So we're going to come into easy pose here. Make your way back to the back of your mat, actually, for this one. And what we're going to do is you're going to create fists with your hands. And you're going to inhale, bringing your tailbone up off the mat and kind of swinging your body forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, off the mat. Exhale, release. And you're going to do this all the way down your mat. And then you're going to come back and we're going to do 2 rounds of this, down your mat and back. So
Let's start. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. This is a Kriya to help balance your root chakra. We're releasing all of the energy that's pent up here in our root chakra near the tailbone. Okay, release. Take a second to close your eyes. Feel the effects of that. A lot of times we do all this work, and integration is really taking the time to feel the effects. So just notice. Now let's bring our legs straight out in front of us. We're going to do one more forward fold here. Keeping our feet active, our legs active, torso straight. Again, this forward fold isn't about the deep stretch, but rather keeping the integrity of our foundation, the length of our spine and our torso. Release. Begin to walk your way back up. All right. Move to the center of the mat here. We're going to move into boat pose. So straightening your legs at a 45-degree angle. You can point your toes or flex your toes here. You can either hold on to the back of your hamstrings, or you can bring your hands out. And we're going to slowly, as slow as we can, release down to the mat from boat pose. So see how slow you can release, keeping the length in your torso and your spine. Slowly coming down. Bend the knees, bringing the feet to the mat. Bring the right ankle up to the left knee. We're going to thread the needle here. Just doing a little bit of hip stretching. We've done a lot of work with the legs and the hips, so we just want to stretch some of that out. Keeping your right foot flexed. You can either grab the back of your hamstring or you can grab your knee, whatever feels best for you. Just feel into this stretch. Release, bringing that left foot back to the ground. Switch sides here, bringing the left ankle up to the right knee. Again, grabbing either the hamstring or the knee, making sure that your shoulders are touching the mat behind you. Breathe. Breathe into that left hip. Allowing all the work that we did today to integrate into your body. Release. Bring the right foot back down to the ground. Take a second here. Let's bring both feet to the mat, dropping the knees in towards each other. Just take a second here to breathe. If it feels good, you might want to do a couple windshield wipers. Bringing the knees to either side of the mat, keeping your feet hip width distance apart. Bringing your feet up, coming into happy baby, you can either grab the outside edge of the foot or the inner arch of the foot, keeping the sacral connected to the earth. Pull your knees in towards your armpits. If it feels good, you could also rock back and forth on the sacrum here. Release. Bring the feet back to the earth. Coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Take a second to roll your shoulder blades in. Get big. Open your feet wide. Don't be afraid to take up space here for this Shavasana. Arms wide. And we're just going to integrate and let it all go. Completely surrender. Feel how supported you are. How Mother Earth, the millions and millions of years that it's taken to create that solid rock that's coming up just to support you, just to hold you. Feel how supported you are. Feel that Mother Earth has your back. The more that you can root into her, the more that she will love you and support you. Allow yourself to be held. Trust that you are supported. Know that Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Gaia, will give you everything that you need. But it is up to you to build the foundation. It's up to you to do your part. She's here for you. Feel yourself completely surrender, completely melt into your mat, as if your body is turning into just a puddle of water. Feel every muscle melt. You are welcome to stay here for as long as you need. I'm going to leave you here in this final resting pose. I encourage you to pull out a journal as you are finishing up this final resting pose, and take a second to journal, asking yourself where at in your life can you create just a little more discipline so that you can feel empowered, so that you can feel free. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.